No discussion on items, there's no motions, no negotiations, none of those type of things, but if we can just have a good discussion in talking things through. So I will start with introductions and we'll move to the right and we'll come back to the left, but Paul Marquardt, Commissioner of Revenue, and Madam Chair.
Aisha Gomez, I'm the co-chair of the Tax Committee in the House. I serve District 62A in South Minneapolis.
Hi there, I'm Patrick McQuillan. I'm the Committee Administrator for the DFL House Taxes.
Esther Badre, representing District 59B.
Representative Matt Norris, representing District 32B, which is the cities of Blaine and Lexington.
Greg Davis, District 26B. I have the privilege of being the co-chair with Co-Chair Gomez.
Sam Moyer, the House Committee Administrator for the GOP.
Representative Jim Joy, I represent 4B up towards Hawley and Moorhead.
Representative Cal Warwis, I represent the heart of the Iron Range in District 7B. Think cities like Chisholm, Minnesota Discovery Center, that area, all the way over to places like Giants Ridge, nearby Wabick, Minnesota.
Jared Swanson with House Research.
Alex Hagler with House Research. Cynthia Templin, House Fiscal Staff.
Did you want to introduce any of your partisan folks?
Oh, sure. Sean Haydorn is the partisan researcher for the DFL in the House. And Samira Sheikh is the CLA. She's out in the audience today.
Chair Davids.
I'd like to introduce Jacob Cowan with the House Republican Research, and then we have a member of the Tax Committee, Mike Weiner, here observing also.
And then before I move to Senator Nelson, we have Eric Willett and Madeline Hara from Revenue, and then Joanna Bears, Legislative Director, is sitting right back here, so from Revenue. So with that, Senator Nelson.
Hello, Senator Carla Nelson from Senate District 26, which is parts of Olmsted County and all of Dodge County. Glad to be here.
Hi there, Amanda Hemmingson-Yeager, Senator from South Maplewood and Woodbury, District 47.
I'm Eric, District 14, Greater St. Cloud area.
Grant Hochschild, Senator for Northeastern Minnesota, Arrowhead region.
Ann Rest.
Good afternoon, Jeremy Miller, State Senator from Senate District 26.
Bill Weber, Senator from Senate District 21, southwest corner of Minnesota.
All right, thank you very much. So we have an agenda here and thought we would start with tax increment financing. And if we could maybe start with the Senate TIF districts. And then what I'm thinking about is as each one comes up, just if this was heard in the House, just any comments at all, just discussion, or if there's more information that has to be sought, or if there's major differences, or maybe it's exactly the same. So just kind of, again, this is discussion, information. So if someone from the Senate would like to talk about tax increment financing, and maybe even if you could go over by the order there, it's in Article 7 of the, okay.
Commissioner, the Senate bill has passed out of the tax committees on the floor, and I direct members to look at the language in Article 7. I don't have any further comments of it. It's right there in front of you, what we passed. The House doesn't have a bill.
So I would like to, I know bills have been heard in the House, and so as we're on the tax increment financing, maybe I see here, section 2 in Article 7 is City of Mountain Lake. I don't know which ones.
That's
might-
not TIF.
Yeah, this is TIF.
Oh, that's.
TIF. So the City of Mountain Lake, is there, Chair Davids?
Thank you. The House Republican tax members have been working on some things, and we put a few things together on some of these issues, and one was TIF. And we put down on our spreadsheet Kegel, Richmond Kegel, Columbia Heights. Now, there may have been some modifications to some of these, but basically, most or all of Representative Reams, Chaska, Shoemakers, Mountain Lake, Katoyza-Watunes, Eden Prairie, Joachim Hopkins, Acom, Wyzetta, and Representative Kegel, Fridley. So now this is not the House tax position. This is the House Republicans worked on some of these things here, just to be clear.
So, Mr. Chair, just the question, were these heard in committees, or were all these heard? Okay, so it seems to me that what I heard was that we're not on the Senate list. So here, Mountain Lake was heard, Wyzetta you mentioned, Eden Prairie, Chaska, Columbia Heights, and Hopkins, and I think Fridley. Would you say Fridley?
Yes, sir,
I didn't see
Commissioner.
that one, and was there one more that wasn't
That's
on?
Representative Kegel.
I don't know, is there any more other than Fridley that wasn't on kind of the Senate list that you just listed? You said Fridley.
Wyzetta, Hopkins, Eden Prairie, and we can't match up, Commissioner, with the Senates. We don't have the Senate.
No, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to see what's,
Yeah.
if you, and so I don't know if there was any big changes. I presume they were probably companion bills that were heard. Any,
Commissioner, I have a question.
Senator Miller?
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm just curious because I don't know, is the House planning to put together a tax bill or not? Chair Gomez or Chair Davids?
Well, Chair, or Commissioner, I'm planning to.
Okay.
I'll let Chair Gomez speak for herself.
Chair Gomez?
Thank you. We haven't received targets from leadership or any, there are some big issues that are being worked out by leadership related to taxes, I think, and I haven't received that information.
Thank you.
So, so we don't, Senator Miller, we don't know, certainly for sure. And I guess the purpose of the day was to really, a lot of these bills are being heard in both bodies. And was to, if there was kind of maybe specific questions or concerns about overall some of these items, we could just talk about those. But a lot of it, I would think a lot of these tax and financing are probably pretty close to the same, but just to kind of maybe even get familiar with what's on each one's, what's been heard in one house, what's in the bill in the other house.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think it's a great idea. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So any other just general thoughts on TIF before we move on? All right, we're going to move to local sales taxes. There's a few more of those. In that, when I'm looking at the Senate here, that was Article, Article 5. Yeah, thank you, Senator. So, any, Chair Rest, any thoughts or comments you want to make on Article 5 and your bill on the local sales tax?
Commissioner, in the Senate Taxes Committee, we had Senator Hemmingson Yeager and Senator Nelson were in charge. And so I'm fine if they want to go through the, let's see what, the local sales taxes, only those and only the sales taxes. What, just describe what they what they are, like the name of the city and what the project is, and that's it.
Senator?
That's, just looking, that
Basically page
article is
12.
what?
Article 5.
It's Article 5, and not all of the local taxes, just the local sales tax.
You wanted Senator Helmison Jaeger to go over that?
They're going to, they've decided how they're going to.
Okay,
to
very
go through
good.
this.
And Senator Nelson also?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
So,
And so just before you start, if they kind of name the cities, if you would, House, think about which ones you've heard or haven't, just so afterwards, well, we didn't hear these, but we heard these that weren't on the list, so. Okay, senators.
go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner. So yes, this starts Article 5, page 9 of the handout that we got. So when Senator Nelson and I got together, we were kind of using the recommendations from Senator Russ when we looked through these local sales taxes. The criteria included that a city resolution needed to be done describing the percentage tax, the time that it was needed for, a description of the project, and the total amount that they were anticipated to collect. It had to include things like a capital project, there had to be demonstrated regional significance, and we needed to make sure that there was going to be a referendum conducted by the voters within 2 years of the authorization. So I'll just kind of go down. This first section will be a little bit out of order, so I'll try to orient you just because the sections are broken up differently, but they all kind of pertain to a cluster. So I'm just going to first point out Section 6, halfway down page 9. It says Senator Wiesenberg Bill 4246. It just is an extension for Little Falls for their food and beverage tax. The second thing I want to point out is Section 3, so go up a little bit. This is Senator Pappas 5229, and this really is just special legislation to authorize. They had some special legislation about sales tax, including a certain number of capital projects. They had one capital project that wasn't included, so this kind of rectifies that specific scenario. And then the third kind of thing I want to address, before I go to the third thing, I should point out Section 1, Senator Champion's Bill 4872, which modifies the boundaries of the downtown taxing area to include the north.
Senator, just the local sales
got it.
tax proposals, nothing else.
Okay, so then I can go to the third part. All right, so the third section, the third kind of cluster is sections 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. And they all kind of go together because they deal with the St. Paul local sales tax regarding the Xcel Energy Center and the kind of surrounding complex, the River Center complex. So a local sales tax extension. Let's see, increasing the bondable amount, and then extending the sales tax date. So that's kind of one part of that. And then down below, 7 and 8 kind of talks about the STAR program, just specifying, clarifying that they must be made annually for these awards. And then the last part, talking about an appointment of members, they wanted to clarify, they're having some trouble, wanted to clarify basically that the appointment does not need to be 21 members, 3 from each ward, but they can be appointed by the mayor and then subject to confirmation by the city council. So it's kind of all of St. Paul in one summary.
Then, first we should see if there's any questions on those.
Yeah, I think if there's any questions, just say if there's anything, you know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. If you'll look on page 9 of the summary, we are looking at Article 5, Section 9, and I'll tell you about the city of Albert Lea. It is asking to extend its half-cent sales tax, local sales tax, and obviously upon voter approval. And it will do the following things. $20 million for water quality improvements to the Shell Rock Watershed District, $9.3 million for expansion improvement equipping of Songbird Trail, $4.5 million for expansion improvement and equipping of the Albert Lee Public Library, $4.7 million for the Snyder Field Complex, that is both expansion, improvement, and equipping, and then $1.5 million for construction, acquisition, improvement, and equipping of Miracle Field, that is at Edgewood Park. And that would, the tax would terminate after or the earlier of 30 years when the sufficient funds have been raised. Then that is Senate file, if you're looking for numbers, that is Senate file 4355, and that was a Senator Dornick proposal. The next proposal I'm going to speak to you about is on page 10, and that is section 13, Senate file 3689. That also is a Dornick proposal, and that is seeking $28 million for a law enforcement center in Austin. And the extended tax would terminate after the earlier of 20 years or when sufficient funds have been raised.
Mr. Commissioner, if
Mr.
maybe Senator Hemmingson Yeager and Senator Nelson could mention the city, because we don't have the Senate files here.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and
and you have so far, but just as you keep going, we want to know the city.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, and we are going off the Senate bill right now, but I think this will save us time in the future should we, we shouldn't have to come back and reinvent the wheel on local sales taxes. So it's good we're hearing about these, because I presume, again, that many of these were heard probably pretty close to identical in the House, so very good.
Thank you,
Commissioner?
Chair
These are
Rest.
in our bill. We are not here to discuss the merits of them.
Absolutely.
The House does, I'm going to say this over and over again, the House has no bill, and it up for grabs whether they will have one. So we're not going to negotiate against ourselves simply by referring to them. And I just want that to be absolutely crystal clear. This is our bill.
Mr.
It's
Commissioner.
on the floor.
Mr. Commissioner.
Mr. Chair.
Just to let the group here know, the House has no bill.
Thank you.
So again, everyone, I mean, what we're hearing here is information, and right, there's not going to be any negotiations, but we're not, so it's just information so that both the House and Senate can hear this and see if there's any big differences, which I don't think there probably will be in either one, but which ones like were heard in the Senate but not in the House and so forth. So, but Senator Rest, you're absolutely right. There will be no negotiations. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. You ready to go on?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about another proposal that's in the Senate bill. You'll find that on page 10, and it is for Baxter. That is Senate File 4709. That is a Senator Heintzman proposal, and that extends its half-cent sales tax, local sales tax, to allow for the following projects: $67 million for wastewater utility and water systems, and $10 million for construction of a new public facility. And then that would extend for 20 years, the max. All right, the next proposal in the Senate bill is Senate File 4831. That is a Senator Weber proposal, and that authorizes Elk River to use its current half-cent local sales tax to finance $20 million of associated building costs of construction for a new fire station in Elk River. Interestingly enough, it doesn't, no comments. It does not extend the duration of the tax. Excuse me. Okay, I think we talked about that. That is a $20 million for that, for a total of $55 million plus financing costs. And of course, that will terminate after enough is collected or 20 years max. Then our next proposal, our next bill is a Senator Westrom file 4539, Senate File 4539, and that authorizes the City of Sauk Center for construction of Trunk Highway 71. It increases the amount of bonds for the project from 10 million to 15 million. And it will reflect until the amount needed, it would terminate earlier of December 31, 2045, or when the city determines enough have been collected to pay that 15 million. Next, I'll turn it over to Senator Hemmingson Yeager.
We're going to switch off so you guys don't get too bored. All right, so I'm on page 12 of the summary if you guys want to use that to follow along. Section 27, Senator Latt's Bill 5065 is for Edina for the Bramer Ice Arena. $35 million for the new public safety facility, $6 million for the Edina Arts Center, $8 million capital improvement for the aquatic center, and then $4 million for the Bramer Park Golf Course, which is a public golf course. Next up, Senate File 4539, Westrom Bill for Alexandria, 25-cent sales tax for $30 million over 20 years for the expansion and renovation of the Prime West Health Runestone Community Center. The next section, number 30, is for the city of Audubon. This is Senate File 4232 from Senator Kupek, half a cent over 20 years for $3 million for a new fire station. Section 31, Senate File 4682, Senator Rest for the city of Blaine. And I think this is not quite a local sales tax, but it's just in there, so I'm just going through it. It's basically up to 3% gross receipts tax on food and beverages, lodging, and places of amusement, so. I'll go on to Section 32 for the city of Caledonia, Senate File 4647, Senator Miller. This is a quarter-cent sales tax for up to $1.6 million over 10 years for a public safety center.
Members, we are looking at Section 33. That would be on, if you have the Senate notes on the omnibus 5052 omnibus tax bill. That would be Section 33. It's on page 13 of the notes. That is a Senator Hoffman bill. It's for the city of Champlin. That would be to impose a sales tax up to 1/2 of 1 cent. And that's to finance $18 million construction of a new indoor athletic facility. The tax would terminate as enough is collected or the earlier of 30 years. The next one on your Senate sheet is Section 34 of the tax omnibus bill from the Senate, and that is for the Cloquet Area Fire District. And that would be a Senator Rarick bill. It's Senate File 4188, and it authorizes the Cloquet Area Fire District to impose a local sales tax up to 1/2 of 1 cent, and that would be up to collections of $18,609,000 plus associated bonding costs, obviously, for the construction of ambulance and fire station, and it would terminate after 20 years. And the next one is Section 35. That is also on page 13 of your notes here. That is Senate File 4269. That's also a Senator Hoffman proposal. That is for the city of Coon Rapids to impose a local sales tax up to 1/2 of 1% for the following projects. $40 million for renovation and the expansion of the police department and city center facility. That includes the city hall and civic center. And then $40 million for construction of a new community center and expansion of the Coon Rapids Ice Center. It requires the tax would terminate after the earlier of 25 years or when sufficient funds have been raised. The last one, oh, there's two more I'll speak to you about right away. This is on page 14 of your note sheet. This is Senator Westrom's bill, Senate File 4181, Section 36 in the Senate Omnibus Tax Bill. Douglas County we authorize Douglas County to impose a local sales tax up to 1/4 of 1 cent to finance up to $18,500,000 building costs for construction of a new library, and that's authorized for up to 10 years. The last one I'll speak to you about right now is Section 37 in the Senate bill, and that is Senate File 4352, and that is a Senator Housley proposal for the city of Forest Lake. It authorizes a local sales tax up to 0.5% to finance $50 million for construction of new public works facility. And that would allow those financing up to 20 years, or when the council determined enough sufficient funds. Turn it over to Senator Amanda Hemmingson Yeager.
Thanks, Senator Nelson. All righty, so still on page 14, section 38 for Isanti County. This is a Senate File 3788, Senator Curran. This is a 25-cent, up to 25 cents for $25 million over 25 years for our new highway department facility for Isanti County. Section 39 is another Miller bill, Senate File 4308 for the city of Lanesboro. 0.5 cent over 5 years, up to $500,000 for rehabilitation and improvements to Sylvan Park. Section 40, Senator Zhang bill 3910 for the city of Maplewood, up to 0.5 cent over 20 years, to total $25 million for the East Metro Public Safety Training Facility and $48 million for the Maplewood Community Center. Section 41, a Johnson Stewart bill, Senate File 3694 for the city of Minnetonka, up to 0.5 cent over 30 years for a couple different projects, $13 million for the new construction of Fire Station 2, $17.6 million for the new construction of Fire Station 3, and $35 million for renovations to the Marsh Health and Wellness Center. And Section 42, a Leisky bill, Senate File 4748 for the city of Northfield, up to 0.5 cent over 20 years for 3 different projects, $2.8 million for the Northfield Public Library, $2.8 million for the Northfield Community Resource Center, and $7.5 million for the Riverfront Parks.
Members, we are on page 15, section 43. The city of Oak Park Heights has been authorized to impose a local sales tax up to 1/2 of 1 cent to finance $13 million for water main infrastructure improvements, $3 million for water tower infrastructure improvements, and $25 million for a PFAS removal water treatment facility. Did I say that was a Housley proposal? Senate File 3764. The bottom of page 15, you will find section 44.
Senator Nelson?
Yes.
All we need to say for that is that it will be deleted at the author's request.
Which one? 44?
Section 44, when we're on the floor, it'll be deleted.
Thank you. Okay, cross that out. Senate File 44 will be deleted. Thank you, Madam Chair.
3709.
Which is, yes.
Section 44 for the city of Osseo, that will be deleted at the author's request.
And as Senator Russ said, that's Senate File 3709. Thank you. Things do change here, don't they, quickly. All right, next, Mr. Commissioner, we have section 45, that's on page 16 of your notes. That is a Senator Jasinski bill, Senate File 3560. That's section 45 in the Senate Omnibus Tax Bill. City of Owatonna imposes a local sales tax up to 0.5% to finance $75 million for a community center, and that would terminate after the earlier of 25 years or when sufficient funds are collected. Next, I'd tell you about section 76. That is Senate File 3601. That is a Senator Westland proposal. That is the city of Plymouth. And that would impose local sales tax up to 0.5% to finance the following projects: $55 million for expansion and renovation of the Plymouth Ice Center, $55 million for expansion of the Plymouth Community Center Fieldhouse, and $25 million for the Four Seasons Regional Sports Complex. Section 46 is what I'm speaking to. Thank you. And that's authorized for up to 20 years. And then the last one I'll speak to you about right now is Section 47. That is a Senator Rest bill, Senate File 3592. It authorizes the city of Robbinsdale to collect a local sales tax up to a half of 1 cent to finance $40 million for the Public Works Facility project for up to 20 years or when sufficient funds are collected.
I'll continue on to section 48. This is a Johnson bill, Senate File 3789, for the city of Roseau, up to half a cent over 30 years for 2 projects, $4.3 million for the renovation of Roseau Memorial Arena, and $8.2 million for the construction of a new community and wellness center. Section 49 is Senator Matthews, File 4606 for Sherburne County, up to quarter of a cent over 20 years for up to $75 million for associated costs for a law enforcement center, including a jail. Next page, page 17, section 50, Senator Putnam, file 4722 for the city of St. Cloud, up to a quarter cent over 3 years for $7 million for an outdoor water park, which is adjacent to the St. Cloud Aquatic Center. Section 51 is Senator Curran, number 4724 for the city of Taylor's Falls, up to half a cent over 20 years for 3 projects, $600,000 for the community center improvements, $1 million for the Taylor's Falls Riverwalk, and $400,000 for the development of a town square. And last for me, section 52, Senator Rasmussen, number 4727 for the city of Vergas, up to half a cent over 5 years, for 2 projects, $240,000 for a new amphitheater, and then $45,000 for the extension of utilities to the amphitheater.
Members, on page 17 at the bottom, section 53. This is a Jasinski bill as well, Senate File 4049. This is for Waseca County, and it would allow sales tax authorization up to 3.75%. to finance $45 million for construction of a new judicial center, and it would terminate at the earlier of 30 years or when sufficient funds are collected. The next one at the bottom of page 17 is section 54 in the Senate Omnibus Tax Bill. That is Senate File 3633. That is the Johnson Stewart project, and that's a little different as well. That is the City of Wayzata food and beverage tax. And that allows the city of Wayzata to impose up to 1% tax on receipts of food and beverages sold by a restaurant at a place of refreshment in the city. And that includes retail on sale of intoxicating liquor and fermented malt beverages. There, if you turn the page, I will tell you what it is for. Operation maintenance of capital improvement expenses for city parks, public safety, downtown business attraction and retention. The next provision is section 55. We're on page 18 now. That is a Senator Weber proposal, Senate File 4147. For the city of Wyndham, it would impose a sales tax up to 0.5% to finance up to $8 million for 30 years for a swimming pool project, or until sufficient funds are collected. And the last one, Mr. Commissioner, Senate File 56 is a Senator Pappas bill. That's Senate File 2657. There are modifications allowed. It exempts the city of St. Paul from the statutory requirement to adopt a resolution in support of modifications to a local sales tax and submit the resolution to the chairs and ranking members of the Senate House Tax and Taxes Committees, and for the modifications to be subject to voter approval. For the modifications to the half-cent St. Paul local sales tax.
All right, Senator Nelson, Senator Emmington Yeager, thank you so much for that presentation. So I'm going to ask the House chairs, as you heard that list, were there any on the list there that you didn't hear? Is there some on there that you heard that you haven't heard in the House, or are there some that that you heard here that were not on a list that you've heard or something, any difference in list, I guess?
Mr. Commissioner, it's kind of hard to tell. We don't have their list, and we don't have a tax bill. But I'd just like to go through the House Republican proposal, if I could, or the Chair Gomez could go through her thoughts first.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, these are bills that have been
Commissioner?
heard. I guess what we're
Yeah.
looking at is bills that haven't
Right,
been heard,
there's.
that might have a.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. There is a bill that wasn't heard in the Senate that was heard in the House, one I can think of right now.
Okay.
Commissioner, what
Senator
we'll
Rest.
do is, when you name your cities, we'll write them down and we'll figure out whether we heard them or not.
That'd be great, Senator Rest, if that works. That'd be wonderful. And again, this is the House Republican tax folks on this one, and it won't take long. We put in our bill House File 387, Blaine, Representative Norris, Albert Lee with a modification to remove equipping from the project description. We've got 4008 Alexandria LST. We got 4383 Audubon. We have 3596 Mueller. That is, we did make a modification of that. City of Austin.
That was 4583 for Audubon LST.
Yes. Did I say that? Oh, I'm sorry, 4583. Thank you very much, Representative Warwas. And then a 4506 Heinzman. We have, Heinzman is Baxter. And then 4334, that's a Davidsville, Caledonia. I think that matches up with you, the Senate's. And then 5039 Nadeau, Champlin. And I think that matches up. And we did Dotseth, 4033 Cloquet. But we modified to impose a tax within the entire district. We wanted, that's a streamlined sales tax issue. Then we have Coon Rapids, Raywauer, 3370, 4094 Davis Crosby, 3847 Franzen, Douglas County, 4876 Green, Edina. Probably the toughest vote I've taken in my 4 decades in the legislature, removing the golf course project. That was hard for me in Edina. 4681 Novotny, Elk River, 4053 Patty Anderson, Forest Lake, 4663 Glencoe. And I notice we don't have Little Falls. We'll want to talk to the Senate about Little Falls when we get together. We modified 4789 Zalesnikar, Hermantown. They had taken the caps off the money that they'd be able to raise, and there's no referendum. So we put a referendum in and caps on the projects for cost. That we thought was a little bit interesting that you would just take the caps off. Why not? House Files 4768 Davidsville Crescent. That one I do not believe that is in the Senate, but we have that in the House Republican proposal. House File 4086 Davids Lanesboro. 3950 Representative Peter Fisher Maplewood. 3459 ACOM. We modified to exclude the Opus project. We couldn't quite fit that one in, but I mean, we took that one out. 4473 Purcell, Northfield. Then we did 3473 Hill, Oak Park Heights. We did 3873 Hildsley, Osseo. 3390 Sexton, Owatonna, 511 Claiborne, Plymouth, 3361 Robbinsdale, Freiburg, 4194 Hicks, Rochester, 3583 Burkle, Rosso, 4497 Franzen, Sauk Center, 4424 Mecklen, Sherburne County, 4873 Wolgamott, St. Cloud, 4248 Hollins, St. Paul, but we modified it a bit. We have in ours the Republican side, just so we know what we're talking about here. We include a referendum, and then we include the modification of the parks authorization, so we have that lined up right. Schwartz, St. Peter, House File 5071, we modified that. I'm big into referendums, so we put a referendum on that. That one did not have a referendum. Representative Murphy, 4718 Vergus. And I want to remove the words bathhouse out of that one. 5038 Warwas, Virginia. 3813 Sexton, Waseca County. 4324 Fogelman, Wyndham. And I think that matches up with the Weber project. That's it, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And so, get me, I mean, I was writing these down, but some that weren't in the Senate is Crosby.
I didn't hear Crosby.
And then Hermantown,
We modified Hermantown,
and I don't remember, okay.
not in the Senate.
La Crescent,
Yes.
and that, I don't think that was in a Senate, okay. And then Rochester, is that another, and then St. Peter and Virginia.
No.
Did I miss any other, just so, just kind of keeping
And
track.
then we
of
didn't
it.
have the Senate at Little Falls, Commissioner.
You did not have
Is that a
Taylor,
food and beverage or something, or?
was that Taylor Falls?
No,
Or-
Little Falls.
Oh. Okay.
And Mr. Commissioner, we in the House Republicans, we're very big on having referendums. We're not going to be able to do a whole lot for the folks that do so much for us, the counties and the cities, as far as LG or CPA. So if they take it out to the voters and the voters say, hey, we want to do this community center, fire hall, whatever it is, why not? Let the people vote. And if they want to do that, knock yourself out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner,
Senator Nelson.
before we leave Representative Davids, I do have a question. I'm curious about, did the House have Glencoe? We did not have that.
Yeah, yes, it's House File 4663, Senator Nelson.
Thank you.
It's a Gilman Bill Glencoe.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Madam Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. I'll just offer some general comments. You know, we did hear a lot of these bills. The 297A.99 has the limitations that exist in statute are contained in that chapter. You know, they include in the second subdivision, the resolution that's supposed to be submitted and the schedule on which it's supposed to be submitted and to whom. It requires, you know, the number of, it outlines the number of capital projects that are required, talks about documenting regional significance. It defines capital projects, which define what is and is not allowed to be used. Subdivision 3 talks about referendum requirements. It says that a termination or expiration of a tax, like if there is a current local option sales tax that terminates or expires, that there is to be a 1-year gap between the expiration or termination of that tax and the imposition of a new one. So I just bring those aspects up because each of them are violated by proposals that have been brought forward. And so I just think that in general, it's important that, you know, that there are not a lot of limits here, but we like to see people who are complying with the law as it's written. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senator Nelson.
Yes, I think perhaps my colleague mentioned this, but of all the local sales tax proposals that came to the Senate and that proceeded forward into the Senate omnibus bill, they all, well, except for one exception, I think, had a referendum, and it came by the deadline. I think we had to make 2 exemptions because of the sabbatical.
Senator
because
Nelson,
I'll let Senator Rest
We're not
speak.
explaining our bill. We
Okay.
passed it.
All right, good enough. I just want to make sure they didn't. Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. And the House doesn't have a bill yet, but we're going to be doing, in the House proposal, we'll be doing a couple notwithstandings. It works. We've done it before.
Any other thoughts on, thank you, Senate and House, for bringing forward or listing your proposals. So we know kind of what's in each one and, well, which ones have been heard, I should say, and which ones are in the Senate bill and so forth. So that's all good. Any other thoughts on local sales taxes before we move to the next item? Okay, so the next one is no-cost, non-controversial items, and this is really wide open. I don't know if folks have any they want to bring up here, or, I mean, I would defer to the Senate too if you wanted to bring up
Commissioner,
anything.
we have no
Senator
list. Invite the members of the House to look at our bill.
Mr.
We have no list of no-cost, non-controversial items. We invite you to look at the bill, the Senate bill that's on the floor.
Very good. So, any other thoughts on any other items that this is good, we're able to, Mr. Chair, Chair David.
Thank you, Commissioner. I've been saying from day one that we need to have as much federal conformity as we can afford. I think it would make your life easier. I think it would make the Department of Revenue's life easier. So in our bill that we don't have, we have quite a few, we're trying to figure out how to conform as much federal conformity as possible, because, you know, in the past, we'd have contests and races as to what chair could do the federal conformity the quickest. And I think the record was held by me, it was, I think, January 13th, and then Chair Gomez beat me one year by 1 day. It was very hurtful. So that being said, I think that needs to be an issue that we look at where the Senate doesn't have a whole lot of conformity in their bill, or federal conformity. They've got some. But in talking to the governor's office, they are big on federal conformity. I think as a rule in the past, we have tried to get as much federal conformity as soon as we possibly could. So I don't know what the positions are of other people. If you disagree with that, let me know and let me know why. Yeah, so I mean, I would, if people disagree with that, I'd like to know right now, because I think it's very important that we do that for the citizens of Minnesota.
Any other thoughts or comments for the good of the order? Otherwise, we're going to look at next steps. You know, yesterday was May 5th. And back in 1961, Alan Shepard was the first American up in space. He didn't orbit the Earth, but just went up for 15 minutes and came down. But you could have done that and still, you know, ultimately we got to the moon. So I'm thinking of this meeting as kind of the Alan Shepard flight in initially getting things organized and getting going where we finally will shoot for the moon. So appreciate that, but looking at next steps.
Well, if I could just say, I want to thank you, Commissioner. You and I have worked a lot on these things, and I really appreciate you putting this together. We got to start somewhere, because we do have to get to the moon on this. I've said from day one of this session, we have to have a tax bill. We have to have a tax bill. Not having a tax bill is not an option. We have a very important provision we have to figure out called HCMC. And I have kind of stuck my neck out there and taken the lead on the Republican side of the House. We need to do that. We really need to do that. So I know I read something the other day about how the DFL is all for HCMC. Well, what am I, chopped liver? I've been there from day one on HCMC, and we have to get that done. So I really appreciate you putting this meeting together. Number one, we have to have a tax bill. Number two, we have to save HCMC. And if we go out of here in 10 days without that, we will have failed the people miserably. And I don't like to fail. It's against my religion.
Thank you, Chair Davids. Any other thoughts? And by the way, as we sent out earlier, there's rotating chairs, so I will not be doing this next time we have a meeting. So we don't know for sure how that will work, but it'll be someone different getting things together.
Commissioner, I think
Chair
I
Rest.
suggested to you to flip a coin on who convenes the next meeting.
All right, we won't do that tonight probably, but we can decide on that. Anything else for the good of the order? A sincere thank you for everyone for being here and kind of getting things going. So with that, we'll see you next time. So thank you very much.